Welcome to the Leather Journey. I'm Dex and this is Bunny. Bunny's my little sidekick. I'm going to put her down and we're going to do a deep dive into Mike Murphy whips. Most of you know Murphy's a legendary whip platter that took some years off from plaiting, and recently in the last 2 or 3 months he's gotten back into it. And so I was the proud owner of maybe 6 to 8 Murphy whips back in a couple decades ago that were plaited around 2000 to 2006 time frame. And when he quit plaiting, I hung on to those for a few years, and then I finally sold those on the collector's whip market. And so I was excited when he started plaiting again. On Whips in the Dungeon, my other channel, I've done an unboxing and an initial review of this match set of 4-foot bullwhips. But for the Leather Journey, I wanted to go quickly over some of the checks I do when I get a new set of whips. And also, I'm going to edit this video, make a short one that just looks at the 4 characteristics of a good short whip, using the new Murphys as an example. And then I'm going to continue the video and do a deep dive, a really deep dive into the whip lasagna, on how these whips were built. And we're going to do a direct comparison with the Giovanni Celeste bullwhips that I just recently got. So you can compare very closely the difference in the way a whip maker and a platter approaches doing a similar project or the same build, and figure out, you can quickly see why 2 different 4-foot bullwhips are going to throw so much differently from the throwing end. Now on the business end, on the receiving end, the energy exchange might be the same. Only time will tell, and me throwing with some whip catchers and getting feedback from the whip catchers. But I'm really curious about what your comments are going to be when I show you these whips. I want to know what you think as a whip lover and a leather lover. So the first thing we did when we unboxed them is we took a real close look at the whips. So I'm going to come up close so you can see this work. This is a typical Murphy plaiting handle. He typically does single diamonds, and then about halfway down the handle he'll do what I call a double chevron, and then he finishes with single diamond. Really nice ring knots. And then these are 16 plaits, so he takes off in 16 plait. And the first 15 inches of the thong are 16 plait, and as this plait comes down, it's tapered very slightly. So the stranding up at the ring knot is wider than the stranding 15 inches down. And then about 15 inches down, he transitions this overlay to an 8 plait. And if you look carefully at this 8 plait, you'll see that that stranding continues to taper. It's not all cut the same width, but continues to taper all the way down to the fall hitch, which is nicely tied. And he's using kangaroo right now for his fall material. Okay, so my initial impression was it was quite a surprise to see the thong, the stranding of the thong split like that between 16 plait and 8 plait. I had ordered a 16 plait whip, and this is the way he built it. Okay, so let's take a look at it. Normally, when I get a new whip, I check the rollout. I want to make sure it rolls straight. It does. I turn it against the spine, and I look at the arc against the spine. And in this particular whip, it arcs out and it drifts to the left just a little bit, okay? And then I take it and I run my hand down the thong, feeling for adds, drops, transitions, and it's pretty smooth. I really don't feel anything until I get right to there. okay? Somewhere right in there. And then again down toward the end, okay? Let me look at the other whip real quick. We're gonna roll it out. Rolls out straight. We're gonna arc it against the spine. This one arcs perfectly straight. Gonna feel it. Right there. And I don't feel that second one now. We're right about there, okay? So it's a two belly whip, so I'd expect the first belly to come down to maybe about there, second belly a little farther down, and then the overlay is going to finish this whip out. Okay, so let's just see real. Oh, the other test I do is I roll the whip around its circumference. So I'll take about 18 inches of this whip and I roll it, and I'm looking to see if it maintains its arc as I roll it around itself. And I look for kinks. It's maintaining its arc pretty well. There might be a little something right there. As I roll it a second time, keep your eye on that spot right there and see what you think. Maybe not. Yeah, kind of right there. So that would be my guess as to where the first belly ends, okay? Second half of the whip, this is always tougher because the taper's so much harder to do. Okay. And it looks like it's right there, okay? So that would be my guess where the second belly ends. But as far as adds, drops, and transitions, if you want my opinion on this overlay, Murphy has been able to taper the stranding down to where he transitions from 16 plat to 8 plat, taper the 8 plat stranding. And if you want my opinion, he's done the entire overlay without having to add or drop a plat. I might be wrong, but that's my initial opinion. So let me roll this other one because we got a match set. Looks pretty good to me. It's really, really, really nice plaiting, really nice whip. I'm seeing something right there. Okay. But this is a very hard test. Out of all the Murphy whips that he's made me, only one other whip passed this test with flying colors. And that was a 4-foot, 2-belly natural belly build. This has a light shot load in it. Okay, these whips do. So I'm going to throw them individually for you real quickly so you can see the rollout. I don't know how we're going to classify this whip. It was ordered as a 16 plat. Let me know in the comments what you think of a whip that's 16 plat for the first 15 inches and then it's finished as an 8 plat whip. Is that a 16 plat whip? Or is that an 8 plat whip? Or is that a half or a 1/3 16 plat whip and a 2/3 8 plat whip? I don't know. It's the first time I've had one like this. I have seen some of Murphy's where he did 16 plat down to where the second belly ended and he only finished the tip in 8 plat. I don't know that I've seen one that had this much 8 plat. That's interesting. I'm just feeling with my dominant hand. Yeah, okay. All right, let's throw a little two-handed for you. I want you to watch the rollout of these whips. They seem to roll out really nicely. Now, you can't see it, but I'm throwing in a t-shirt. I got a t-shirt target set up just off camera so you can see these whips at an angle as they roll out. Okay. Really, really nice work. Kangaroo Fall, I honestly think this is the first whip out of all the 100 or so whips I've owned that was finished with a Kangaroo Fall. Don't know if I like it or not yet. I gotta throw these a while. I will say, compared to the Giovanni Celeste that I'm gonna throw, the kangaroo fall makes the whip finish a little lighter. Not quite as tip heavy, which makes sense because it's lighter weight leather than the Italian leather or red hide that Celeste whip was finished with. Okay, Mike Murphy, great. I'm glad he's plaiting again. We're going to go do a deep dive into the whip lasagna or this build for my channel members. So consider joining the channel, showing the channel your love. That video won't become available for the public. It's going to only be for channel members. But I hope you enjoyed this. Give Mike a shout out and order some whips from him. Compare his new generation of whips. If you're a Mike Murphy fan and you own some Mike Murphy whips, let me know what you think of Mike's whips. And then do me a favor, order a new set of whips from him and compare the 2025 version against the whip that you have owned and come to love. Does a nice cattleman's cracker cutback. It's a little light on a forehand flick, but they're brand new. I've only thrown them maybe a couple times. They are certainly not worked in. As always, thanks for watching The Leather Journey. We're going to